Muy bien, continuemos. Ese baúl. Mesa de trabajo.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
¿Dónde consigo agua? Artículos sobre los Ekuns. Es privilegio acercarse a un vampiro para observar los aspectos físicos y psicológicos más integrantes con ojos científicos y racionales. Velocidad sobre el mesmerismo. Capacidad de detectar sangre. Confeccionar. Primero es analizar los componentes que has encontrado para desbloquear nuevas recetas. Das clic en el componente. Para analizar. La muestra de sangre. Suero regenerativo ligero. Regenera 300 puntos al instante y 150 de salud en 15 segundos. Pero me faltan 4 elementos. Solución. Ok. Mejorar esto. Mira lo que tengo. Sierra usada, porra. Machete usado, que es el que tengo equipado. Velocidad de ataque 10. Resistencia. Ah, puedo mejorarla. ¿Qué más puedo mejorar? Esta lo puedo mejorar. También lo puedo mejorar. 58. Voy a mejorar. Machete usado. Trabajo en proceso. Resistencia 15, velocidad de ataque 15. Ahí puedo seguir mejorando. Aumenta el daño causado un 10%. Reduce la resistencia. El consumo de resistencia. Vamos a ponerle este. Daño 50. Eso está mejor. Puedo seguir mejorándolo. Aumenta el daño causado. Mirá vos. Y todavía más. ¿Cuál será el límite? La estaca, a ver si puedo mejorar la estaca. No. Y esto no lo puedo mejorar hasta que no mejore esto. Parte de gatillo. Ok. Botella pequeña. Valor de reventa promedio. Puedo sacar frasco de vidrio. Tratamiento ferroso. Tornillo, grasa, resorte.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The flower's dying. It needs water.
I need water. ¿Qué tengo que dormir? Tengo 100 puntos para dar más. Confirmar, establecer. Sí, marcado acá. Sí, marcado. La noche siguiente.
If I'm to stay here until my research is
Capítulo 2.
complete,
Bata Blanca.
I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood? Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Sorry. There's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have.
Ah, mira.
Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
La vieja más.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Joya. Ah, esto sigue cerrado. Ya está.
I cannot enter.
Tampoco puedo entrar, no. ¿Qué hice ahí? Sense.
Not now.
Ok. Este está bloqueado. Ah, esto sube. Pero no se puede entrar. Carta larga. Hola hermanita, ¿cómo van las cosas por la gran ciudad? Aquí en Brown no están bien. Parece que la gripe ha regresado y tenemos muchos nuevos casos de infectados en el vecindario. ¿Recuerdas a la señora Scheller, la vieja borracha del tercer piso? Falleció hace 2 días y su departamento ya está ocupado. Vaya, deberían pagarme muchísimo dinero para dormir en la cama donde una mujer murió de gripe hace apenas unas horas. ¿Qué pasa? Lucy, Paul, mamá y papá. Pippa Hopkins. Esto no puedo hablar. Es locked. Acá ya estoy en la calle. Librería. Está en la entrada principal, sí. Ese chavo nunca te deja entrar. Sí me está hablando con él. Con este ya hablamos. Oh, 103, 104. Cierto que es de brújula acá. ¿Ya está?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal.
Ahora mira.
You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
A la mierda. Todo bloqueado. ¿Quién es usted realmente?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it's such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Requiere pista, requiere pista.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades.
A la mierda.
I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty.
Thelma tiene síndrome de Cotard y cree que es una vampira. 1250. Círculo social Thomas Elwood. Thomas Elwood. Ah, el que está desfigurado.
You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
A la mierda.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Jardín
The
cercano a
staff
la
here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Estás completamente loca. Nueva investigación. Pregunta personal, ¿se habrá habilitado o no? Listo.
I'll leave you, mistress of the...
Y este es el chabón desfigurado.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Claro. Acerca de la enfermedad de la señorita.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you
Vampira.
aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
Dos pistas. De ahí esperanzas para él. Me falta una más. Círculo social.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Verdadero motivo de su lesión, cómo es su estadía aquí, el
Why
motivo.
do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave.
Ah, sí.
It was an accident.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen.
Mm,
Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans. And it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life. I'd rather stay here and just be forgotten.
ok. Oh, fallé en la última pista. Ah, mira vos. Depende. Así que se puede fallar en las pistas. 850. Incluso bajó.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
¿Quién la tiene?
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Pure disgust on every street corner. A daily routine.
Good evening,
Ah, el
Mr.
cura.
Hampton. How do you
Hampton.
feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Todos habilitados, qué raro. Ha hecho un amigo de la llegada, cómo se gana la vida, cómo se siente.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around you.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. Just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Su presencia en el refugio de William, la situación en el muelle, acerca de Tomba.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Un hueso que sale 38 pesos. Tengo 3 pesos y si junto 3 pesos son 6
You dared
y
to
para
enter
conseguir
this
8
awful
pesos
place alone.
tengo que
You're a
conseguir
hero,
3.
Mr. Hampton.
Tengo 3 pesos.
I'm just a man
Entonces el
trying to
hueso
help
sale
friends.
38 pesos.
William Bishop was a conflicted
Entonces
soul
al conseguir
searching
3
for light.
pesos voy a conseguir 3 pesos más y tengo 6.
6.
3 y 3 son 6. Entonces si
Why did
junto
he abduct
2
you?
pesos más
William was an alcoholic.
son
His addiction suddenly
38.
changed to blood.
No,
I don't know why.
son 8.
Just like a patient I met
Te
here.
faltan 30.
This Miss Hawcroft.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers trade union. The wet boot boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Butipi.
Has the gang been...
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to be a saint, not even criminals.
¿Me las contás?
Do you know
Tom
Tom Watts,
Watts.
the bartender from the
El
Turtle?
cantinero.
I met him before I found you in the candy factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom.
Dos.
Without men like him,
Cuatro.
corruption and despair would have
Cuatro.
wiped out the East End long
5.
ago.
5.
7.
No, espera. Esta y esta.
8, 9, 10. 15.
15.
Who should I
Y
avoid
ya
in this
tengo
part of town?
38 pesos.
Any particularly
Falta la
evil
más, la
figures?
mitad.
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their
La
best.
plata igual a esto.
And it's not my habit to speak
Guárdalo.
ill of people I know, Doctor.
Mañana te doy más.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice,
15 pesos
Nothing.
tengo.
It's a
15.
damn shame.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. It's locked.
Mierda.
Damn.
Botella pequeña. Esto está bloqueado.
Scowl voices in the garden.
¿Qué es eso?
I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Toma, puta. Mierda. Ahora sí. Híjole. Toma. Nivel 6 eso. Bien. ¿Qué estaba haciendo acá? Batería baja. Puta madre.
I cannot enter.
Salí de acá, ¿no? Yo. Sí, salí de acá. Otro más. También nivel 6. Lo maté. Listo. Ahí está guardando. Son 2 horas. $57, 50. Por acá. Están los chaboncitos ahí.